And welcome back to round one of SRL TV. Simulation Rugby League Premiership's first round is about to have its another game on its hands. Ollie Pache with a new addition to the commentary box, Liam Rogers. Liam, welcome in. What are you looking forward to in this match?
Truthfully, I'm just excited seeing how the new look Broncos go and how some of these rookies go for the Rabbitohs, because obviously you've got two key positions in your second row with Dustin Richards, and then your halfback with Daniel Hellier, who's had a lot of spotlight on him, not just through the Nines, but also through his illustrious career in the Mines. So it'll be very fascinating to see how these two teams go. Some very fresh new faces, and I'm excited to get stuck into it.
Yeah, a lot of rookies starting in this one. Daniel Hellier and Dustin Richards, as you mentioned, for the Rabbitohs, but also the Broncos have started Lucas Deuce and Justin Monkey, I'm getting confused if you have a Dustin on the other side. We are about to get underway. Of course, the Broncos have gone with a pretty full revamp under the captaincy of Jack Carl after some tumultuous leadership issues plagued them. Nonetheless, we're underway as James Fawn kicks us off here, and Sam Herbert will let Justin Monkey take the first run.
Oh, and he's been driven back there. I dare say that the Broncos haven't won that opening tackle.
Yeah, it looks like Souths are coming in with authority here. They want to really push him back early on as Herbert, after he received it.
Oh, Monkey playing at first receiver there. They're trying to get some ball playing in by the looks of it. It looks like there were some line runners there too, so it wasn't just a one-out hit up. Oh.
Yeah, now they're sending it out wide here for the former captain, Justin Plays, but he is wrapped up there. It was Ryan there that came in. There were some questions about how they were going to handle their spine. They're going with Lurie, going with fullback. Butterfield and Hellier over hard, and James Fawn maintains a spot at hooker. Now on the last, Kaval will pass over to Simon Hunt, and it's a great lock box kick. It goes down to Tyrone Clay, but Clay puts on a step and nearly gets by Bell.
Just players that you really don't want in open space there.
Yeah, it's something that we always see a lot of in the SRL. Those deep kick returns that can always be sprung, but that time just ended up quelling it. Butterfield now gives the first touch for Justin Richards. I'm going to get that confused a lot, I feel like. I'm going to engage in several malapropisms. Either way, Butterfield goes out to Ryan.
There is how he got on the front foot there and he kept moving forward. He wasn't getting driven back like some of those early Broncos hit-ups. I also want to say that the Rabbitohs, they're being very ambitious with how they shift the ball early, just as the Broncos were, as we see Remy go through the line break.
Yep, that time it was a bit simpler though. Remy just took it and ran and gets tackled just inside the 20. Butterfield will elect to try and pass it off for O'Hare, and the play is busted, and they end up getting a tackle done.
Undoing their hard work there, Souths.
Yeah, had a big opportunity there to perhaps put up a bomb towards the wing of Clay or Kevin Dixon. Dixon, another rookie, though, I believe has seen some game time in the past, as Carl will pass over to Hunt, and Hunt is flattened there. I believe that was Matt Downey getting involved, signing for them recently, came back from Parramatta. He's been thrust into the starting role.
Watch how Carl just gets over the engagement line just so he can get the ball to his middles, just getting them out and under. Doing a fantastic job to get his rookies involved as well, as any good captain should.
Doing well with that, and that time he looked always outside on the fourth play to Cooper Gronk, former Premiership winner, and would technically be defending champion, but he has gone down south to Brisbane. Also, he won that Premiership with North Queensland. Take there by Saddlecart. And an excellent lockdown there as well, not allowing many meters to be gained there, as Downey will progress it forward, gets about 10 for his trouble. Hellier inside ball for Ryan. Ryan the step. Ryan nearly through. Bell there to wrap him up. They have elected to go with Corey Bell at fullback. Also the question to how the Broncos would manage their spine. And there's an intercept by one of those members. Sam Herbert plucks that one. With Bell, Carl, Herbert, and Kaval being the members of those spines. Rohan, Kaval, usually a half, but has been put into the 9 spot for this one. Thanks, Monkey. Monkey runs through.
Oh, good run by Monkey. Really getting those post-contact meters.
Yep, Kaval now out for Hunt.
Hunt's really been getting that work rate up early.
Yeah, it's been very good with that. And out to Kaval, now Herbert. Herbert trying to drive to the line. It's going to be swamped by front rowers. Herbert now will look to play it to Kaval. Goes left side, Carl. Carl the grabber finds Jordan Williams. He's still got the green hair and is still a machine.
Brilliant run there from Williams, but I just love the timing from Carl. You can see how nicely he gets that kick in. Let's watch this again. Watch how he just looks up. He fakes the run for a little, and then he just gets it in.
Yeah, and a pull of the defenders, O'Hare and Downey away. Just opened up the gap there for Jordan Williams to run through. Huge first try for him. And 4-0 the lead. Big to come, of course.
That's not how Rabbits wanted to start the game, but I got to say that's a lot of creativity being shown by the Broncos' spine. It was so plain and simple, but they just get the kick in the exact right position it needed to be in.
Yeah, they did an absolutely solid job with that one. I'll be the one to take the kick. And he puts it through, making it 6 points to 0. 8 minutes gone.
I love the service coming from Kowal so far in this game. He's really made it easy for Kyle to take over and really just be able to get over the advantage line.
Yeah, and I do think that, that was something that I think Kyle kind of struggled with before in his previous teams, where he wasn't really allowed to be set off as a playmaker. I think now for this one, as a captain, he's had a lot more control over how he wants to manage his side and has basically allowed his attack to form new connections. I mean, with this forward pack that I feel like might not be highly rated as some people might think. Also do have Seamus Wilson, who showed a lot of promise with his limited time at Parramatta. Also some new rookies that kind of come in. Jake Scott, the winger Ben O'Donnell, Bailey Wilson as well. You'd have to make a lot of undrafted signings in order to fill out the roster.
Shift to get it to their second row there. They're really just moving forward. Look at the position they've set themselves up in. Because of that first hit up from Williams, they're able to position themselves just inside the 30 on fifth after already scoring a try.
Yeah, it's been a great push set thus far. That one didn't work out too well, and guys cops a shot for his trouble. Ends up being flattened. It has to hand over 27 out. The
slight mistake from Koala in his service there, but he's been really solid so far.
Yeah, and sometimes that can just be... Yeah, Matt Downey making a line break again for Muriel, making his presence felt. Do you think that is something that...
The rookie, once again, getting those post-contact meters.
Yeah, doing very well for himself. 4 out to Butterfield. Now with Downey captured and brought down in a 2-man tackle there. Caval and Williams both combining there. Want to finish my thought that perhaps it's also on some of the blockers that they aren't really sure where Caval's going to go with it. So perhaps just need to build a bit more of rapport there. Davis taking that one just outside the 20. Or he has to play it. Goes out to 4 now. Butterfield. Butterfield high ball.
Oh, pinpoint.
Yep, pinpoint back now. Thorn. Can Thorn get it down? Is it going to be wrapped up? He's got to be turned on his back. And over 10 meters out. A good rescue tackle there by Simon Hunt.
Absolutely brilliant tackle there, but I absolutely love the ambition that Souths are showing in their attack, especially going like they're right up back against the wall. Sounded like Cooper Gronk for a second there, but geez.
Hopefully that's like Cooper Gronk there, as Guys took another big hit. A lot of impact tackles being made early on. That one was from the rookie, Dustin Richards. Kyle out to Kyle, and now to Gronk. Gronk is being wrapped up well there.
Loving that. Kyle just getting that ball straight to Gronk to set up the shift because he saw something.
Yep, Kyle's kick very short. Clay wasn't back there and ends up claiming it for himself. They'll carry it inside the Broncos 40. There's been really good work there on that Rabbitohs defense to really force the issue. Butterfield, he got through the line and then passes off, and Hellier got rocked. And Williams forces the ball loose. Caval picks up the ball, and well, it pretty much just reset the kick. And now Kelly down the flank. Kelly running into Ryan. Ryan forced him back.
Welcome to the league, kid. Welcome to the league. Oh, it's a tough moment for the rookie. Hopefully he bounces back.
Just stalled by a veteran as Williams goes through again.
And there he goes. Hellier going in for the tackle, not quite making it. And Williams, that's brilliant vision from the playmaker there to set that up.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Hellier tried to make up for it in some ways, but he's still going to be feeling the after effects of that one. As there's a bit of vengeance. You touch your rookie, I'll touch up your half. Herbert takes an absolute shot. Caval got out to Carl Gronk with a bit of a dive up there. Nearly an intercept created. Caval gets it back for Carl. Carl barely gets a kick away. Well, it just rolled dead. Looked like some of the forwards there, and Hunt was going to get there, but
very creative play from the hooker there, just shaping left and going right. It created the space, but the kick just wasn't good enough.
Yeah, just a bit too much weight on it. There were two Broncos that were heavily chasing it. As here's Saddle Carr being forced to the line. Joey Kelly gets him out.
Probably didn't need to throw that past there, Hellier, but I'm impressed by his ambition coming off the back of an error. He's not toning his game down.
Yeah, well, some might call it ambition, some might call it just absolute insanity. Though that might just be doing the same thing over and over again. I think it's the first time he's tried that. Perhaps he just still got to get used to the 13s game of not trying to just throw it out wide and hoping the wingers can spring something.
Not enough space to work with in this game. It would be very different. But I'm impressed by their confidence so far. Though it feels like sometimes they're just playing with hope and not with direct intent. As we see Williams taking a hit. He's been busy today.
Yeah, well, I mean, it will likely come off in a few minutes, so makes sense that he would do so. Herman looked like he wanted to shape the kick there, but ends up just taking the run. Definitely calls Carl into question on what he does with his kick. Puts up a high ball. Contest is forming just behind, well, just in front of the line. Tyrone Clay does put on a step, but ends up being guys that wrapped him up.
They're doing a good job to contain Clay off the back of those kicks, which is going to be vital because we know what he can do if he does get some open space. Yeah,
we saw that very early on. Pretty much with his first touch, he was already able to spring one. Downey will end up trying to help them through with some post-contact meters, but this is going to be a very difficult fight for them right now. The Broncos locking down in defense, and because Clay wasn't able to get that early territory, they're having a lot of trouble. They try to go to him again. He's only able to just get past. He is tackled. Collins now will pass back for Butterfield. Butterfield inside the 40, looking for that 40-20 attempt. Place takes it on the full, and thankfully he's not having to run to the sideline to try and take it. Does step one. Tackle behind the 40.
Brilliant way to get that back, turning a defensive position into a more attacking. So, that was a fascinating offload from Monkey there. It took a while. I'm not sure if he was ready to take that.
Yeah, I've seen a few invaluable offloads this season, and then he goes another offload. Yeah.
I think we're seeing a Tavita Pangai type player in Monkey very early on here.
Reasonable assessment as here's Hunt going out to Bell. Bell is man. They were able to read that inside ball and shut it down before anything could develop. Caval out to Hunt. Hunt now to Wilson. Wilson is wrapped up by Hellier, though he's getting some good meters. Big man against small man, even though Hellier is fairly tall for a half.
That is a better play there. The Broncos, they were going side to side a bit there, trying to be too fancy. They needed that play to set themselves up where they just went forward.
Yep, and it looks like Broncos have made some changes here. Looks like Jake Scott and Jackson Allison are on.
That's another rookie in Scott, so
making his first minutes. Swan makes a break. And you'll slot into dummy half. Although it's Ryan actually slot into acting half there. Butterfield goes out to Richards. Like Souths are going to make some changes as well.
Once again, Richards, he only knows how to go forward.
Yeah, that's what you're one out of your forward pack, of course. Ryan taking it inside Broncos 40.
Loves to get his hands on the ball. And a go to Hellier, he takes the line on again. He does well to get over the line there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be very difficult for him now because that's kind of constitute a poor kicking game. Well, I mean, I was about to say, Remy will get a lot of meters for his trouble, but that will be an easy handover for Brisbane.
Well, you can't kick poorly if you don't kick it, I guess.
I suppose so.
Scott with his first touch.
Yep.
Not bad.
Great minds thinking alike here.
There we go. Bell into some open space.
Yep, makes a great sidestep. Doing very well now to try and attack the headgeared players of Ryan and Hellier. And now here goes Gronk. They're caught out of position, avoids an ankle tap, but Ryan got back in time. Makes a tackle about 9 meters out from the line. Rock out to Caval, now out to Hunt here. Hunt going to be
another censoring hit up from Hunt's there. Let's see how they shape out on the... Oh, they go left.
Yeah, looked right, went left, but Seamus Wilson is brought down heavy by Mason Remy.
We're seeing Caval shape one way, go the other a fair bit. It's very fascinating, but sometimes you have to bring the question whether the teammates know what's happening.
Hopefully the communication is there as Kevin Dixon was able to take that contested catch against Derek Kelly. They go short side again. They went short side before and it nearly didn't pay off, but Hellier knew after I think he threw that last pass out to Saddle Cart, bring it in field. William Ryan makes a step. Can he beat Bell on the inside flank? It looks like we're going to have defenders back from him, though. What an offload that is. Sent out with such zip. Ended up with Hellier, but they lost more meters off of it, so probably should have just taken the tackle for himself.
Well, he probably now out to Butterfield. I think he wanted to reposition himself for that next play because you can see him getting into attacking shape. He thinks a play ahead, Liam Ryan.
Reasonable forward as another touch for Jack Tedesco. I believe here's another new signing for South Sydney as That will be the last. Butterfield forced a punt. Can the kick chase come in quickly enough for plays? Not quite. He is allowed to make a step, but he will still be tackled shy of a 30.
Placed well, but probably needed more height there to give the chasers some time.
Yeah, perhaps that might just be the wind knocking it down there as Guys doesn't get much meterage on the second play. Allison runs through a man. Now he takes off, gets an offload away. Scott is wrapped up, and wow, a lot of players coming through.
Got subbed on. Only just came on the field, and you can already see Allison and Scott making their impact.
Yeah, it's Hellier, interestingly, they decided to make a hefty tackle on him. So very surprising. Usually you don't see that kind of thing.
There they go. They love
double with
Wilson at the moment. We're seeing Wilson trying to target that side of Hellier a fair bit so far, but Hellier, despite some early errors, he's really not showing down from it.
Yeah, as there's a kick down from Carl out to the wing of Kevin Dixon. Dixon is wrapped up after not very much. He'll play it 15 out from his own line, out to Hellier.
Ooh, good line engagement
Remy.
there. Nice run from Remy.
Yep, it's been pretty solid thus far, and unfortunately, I think just because of how little Souths have been able to gain from anyone else, that he's just kind of shone through, kind of like the shining needle in the haystack, one might say, because it's still a bale of hay after all. Tyrone Clay will be tackled shy of a 40. Do they elect to kick on this one? No, they just would like to go one up with Richards. He'll be brought down. Another option for a potential kick towards the sidelines here. Butterfield will be kicking it from outside his 40, and it'll only get to about as far as the numbers before Plays takes it. And Plays will have it up past the 30.
I love how well Plays just gets on in his front there. You can see by the time he's played the ball, both of the markers are still offside.
Yeah, we've seen a fair bit of that as well. It's just made the Rabbitohs
once
a little
again.
too slow a marker, and there it is again, and it catches one out. Rather get away a penalty. Allison breaks one, breaks two tackles, and ends up taking it into the red zone.
That's the second line break there from Allison. He's been absolutely devastating so far. But it's a bit concerning just how on their feet the Rabbitohs look. There's two straight plays where the ball was played and they had a marker that wasn't onside, and one of them being fatal because it's let them get this field position.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say fatal, but it is definitely incapacitating. Carl, the grubber kick. Great take. James Thorne read the play perfectly. Ends up taking
not
it up.
Again. As Richards, he's getting through so much work, isn't he? Feels like they're just trying to wear out the half on the right side there.
Yeah, that'll be Sam Herbert on that edge. Might also just be targeting Guys and Lucas Deuce, another rookie. So here goes to Hellier. Hellier is swarmed in a tackle by Scott and Caval. Can't get very much. Now out to Saddlecuff, putting on the left side of Ryan, but the defense was kind of there, but Dixon slips through. Ends up being taken into Broncos territory, but will likely only be a punt for this one. O'Hare will take it and puts the boot on.
Not bad.
Kelly into retreat. Yep. There's something that we see a lot from some of the 13s. Of course, O'Hare does have some experience in the spine from before, so he can put in some kicks when he needs to. Gronk out to Caval. Long pass out to Scott, trying to spread the defense, but a good one-on-one tackle there. I think.
Yet another play of the ball. Another play of the ball where they've got another marker offside. And it's happened again.
Yeah, we didn't look to target him on that occasion. Instead, they looked wide out to look to Corey Bell and then Sam Herbin. Sam Herbin tackled right on halfway. Let's out the numbers on the right side. Deuce out to Plays. Plays got him that time. Got an offload out. Finds Herbin. Herbin, will he get there? He's not going to quite be there. The Rabbitohs will be right on the retreat. End up being able to set themselves in time, though. Hunt out to Plays. Plays to the man, get in the way. Picks it up back again. Probably should have been offside there, but still given away to South Sydney.
Questionable play, but they were really impressive to set that one up. Every time that there was some offside markers, they just took advantage of it. Here we go.
Very well.
They got a quick play the ball there.
He also did get a touch out of Luke Driscoll as well. I don't think, not sure if we mentioned him on the broadcast yet, but is also making his SRL debut as here's O'Hare trying to get through an inside ball. Did get a bit of a line break, but looked like he was brought down there, or he could get that much. Richards again trying to work here against Guys.
The name's going to lose meaning if we're saying it this much.
So O'Hare tackled on the last. Just in between the two red lines, so not quite red zone opportunity, and Butterfield will like to try and pin deep again. Yep,
Oh,
though Plays does end up making a step. Might be forced towards the sideline here, though. No, ends up just losing the
strong
battle
carry.
of legs, yeah. And he ends up taking it just to the 33, one would say, and that's about parallel to where Herbin's tackled. Ball out to Allison. Allison not able to run through a man this time and still get some good post-contact meters. Another speech impediment there. Wilson through the line once more. Hellier just looks to be a spectator while Ryan brings him down, and Hellier doesn't even get himself square. Carl, long pass out to Gronk. Gronk, however, is swarmed there, and a good tackle there. I think that was Remy on that edge. Not long left in this half. A low scoring thus far. Carl the kick. Ryan has to take it.
Yep. Just turning Ryan around there so the chasers can come get him before he breaks the tackle.
Yeah, it looked like he hesitated a bit there. No, dear me.
No.
Was there?
No. Coach killer.
I'm surprised they called that offside, but I suppose because it was touched by a player and then it was touched by a player in front of it, that made sense. Because I thought it might have got a marker on interference there and might have changed the direction, but offensive decision remarked, and it ends up being offside the other way, and Caval just says it's a free 2 points.
If you watch what happens, he takes the ball over the advantage line as he makes the pass, and he's in front of the recipient when it hits him, and then he knocks it on to the guy in front of him. So
yeah,
I think an accidental offside would have been the better call there and a scrum awarded to Brisbane, but see the way that the referee's discretion comes into it, it does generally tend to err towards the defending team in those scenarios.
Yeah, and I also do think that I don't think I've ever seen an accidental offside awarded in the SRL, so I suppose it's just not a part of their rules of the game. Must be a new interpretation. I guess I should correct myself. Laws of the game, rules and interpretations. Let's just make sure we clear that out of the way. A couple minutes remaining, and Brisbane currently holding on to an 8-point lead. Bell makes a step, though, looking to try and make it perhaps 12 or 14. Bell is tackled just shy of halfway, though. Play to Caval, now out to Herb, an inside ball hunt.
They spot the inside player and go for the inside ball there. I'm absolutely loving Herbin's ambition with that play.
Yeah, and perhaps should have been some more ambition from Caval there when both markers not square, but we go back to Herbin with a minute remaining. Broncos will likely be forced to kick here. They go to Carl. Carl had a blocker right in front of him, but still got the kick cleanly away. Got it out to Clay, and the Chasers got there in time. Deuce plays, I believe, on that edge. Deuce hasn't really been involved in terms of attacking play, but I don't think they've really needed him thus far as we get close towards a break. One final little bit of interchanging as Butterfield tries to send Clay out on a run down the left side, but that'll be it and will likely take us to halftime. The Broncos leading the Rabbitohs 8-0. Welcome back to the second half of this entertaining clash that we've had between the South Sydney Rabbitohs and the Brisbane Broncos. Ollie Parche and Liam Rogers with you. Liam, a lot of things to digest from that first half.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic to see how some of the rookies were getting involved. Some of them making a few errors, but I guess at the end of the day, you have your ups and downs. So, opening hit up by Davis.
Yeah, it's been a lot of ups for Brisbane. They haven't made an error or even conceded a penalty yet. We are 15 for 15 in completions. Can't say the same though for Daniel Hallier, who has made 3 of the 5 errors for South Sydney, and definitely will have some discipline to work on, of course. I think that might also just be the pressure of being a starting half in this league, as Ryan breaks through a tackle of Williams, and Bell has to swarm to him. Ends up getting some help defense as well, at least. Getting back to assist as Downey sends it out to Hayden Davis. Davis be able to march forward and gets to about 35 out from the line. Good opening set from South Sydney, but Butterfield will just have to pump this away, and it looks like players will be able to run this through and then able to be brought down.
They've done a fascinating thing there with kicking to plays repeatedly on the for tackle sets, but I'm not sure if it's working, because as we see plays, he was towards leading the Broncos in run meters, so he's definitely made lemonade from the lemons there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, either way would be impressive, as he also did leave line breaks, I believe, with 5. We're looking at the stats at halftime. Caval does finally make a burst from Mark. We've been waiting to see a lot of that from Caval, given how quick the play the balls have been. Very good ruck speed from Brisbane, and I think the referee has kind of been not enforcing that, because we haven't seen any held and tackle penalties yet, but I think all of them do want to avoid it, as Dixon takes this one. Dixon nearly through 1 and 2 tackle. He's trying to outrace Williams. Williams tackle. There goes Kevin Dixon. Will anyone be able to catch him? No, he goes coast to coast on the kick return. And finally, a first career try, and South Sydney open their scoring.
Wow, what a way to do it. That was almost Latrell Mitchell-like. Every time someone got near him, he was just nope. Look at that. The way that he gets away from Williams, one of the premier tacklers in the comp. That's just fantastic. Breaks 3.
Yeah, that is absolutely exceptional work there. I mean, you've already put up a try of the year contender. It's your first try for you. It's a first try for your team. It's a first try of the season. It's only round 1. And it's already an absolutely beautiful run.
And in the context of that game, by God, did they need it, because they weren't going to win through the grind so far, given that the Broncos have been pretty much dominating through their ruck speed. So they needed to break the game open to kind of get it closer. And obviously he's come up clutch.
Yeah, and he just takes that one play from a winger. I mean, we did kind of see it in that grand final. Of course, it was Tatera Maxwell that ran it back and ran it all the way home. And, well, they'll be so happy about that one. Hallier will take that kick and gives it off to Davis for his first hit up.
Back.
Yep, he's needed to gain some more post contact. There. Oh, James Vaughan being a little cheeky there.
That's a bit cynical, but it's...
We talk about the ruck speed, about the Broncos all day, and then finally the Rabbitohs get a quick play of the ball, and James Ford, ever the cerebral assassin, takes advantage.
Cerebral assassin. I've got to say, despite not really winning that grind, they've taken advantage when they've had to so far. Plays like that, plays like the Dixon try, just getting those occasional big wins.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you really need. Is Daniel will take this hit up. It was Richards that took another first one, and he's been heavily involved already, Dustin Richards. I mean, that's what you expect from such a high pick in the draft. Also sponsoring the South Sydney side as Fawn takes off again from dummy half. I think he's showing Caval how it's done, really. He's starting to take some runs for himself. It's Fawn now out to Collins. We played it to Collins, rather. Butterfield, Downey gets through a tackle. Downey will be wrapped up, caught by Williams. Also Monkey there getting back in defense. One marker now, given the goal line stand. Butterfield puts a kick up. It might be a touch too deep where Bell is. And he did leap from his in goal, so a 7 tackle set for them.
Yeah, not exactly how you want to end that set, especially given how promising it was of an opportunity.
It really did need that, as Bailey Wilson getting involved. He's, I believe, another rookie that was signed undrafted by Brisbane. I think they did make some great signings. Of course, Justin Monkey was one of the few backers to get 100 SRL coins for the correct prediction of the Newcastle Nines. And also his activity has made him the richest as of Saturday. Of course, we are still waiting to see. Well, actually, I do believe he actually would still be the richest now, given... well, we aren't sure what the quiz is going to be. Anyway, another Ben O'Donnell run. And he ends up taking it up to just inside the 20. He's also going to be on debut, and I think he did a good start. I actually had him going to a different side and potentially being drafted, but he ended up being taken instead by Broncos, as there's a back for Bell, but he's going to be wrapped up. The Rabbitohs defense lied in wait perfectly and end up getting the changeover.
Fantastic chase there, but just not quite getting it done as Collins bursts through.
Yeah, Collins bursting through again and just being wrapped up by Bell at the 40. He's been having to work hard to try and get back, and yeah, South's looking dangerous thus far. Liam, you were saying?
Yeah, well, obviously they've just... The way the Rabbitohs have started this set is brilliant. With the Broncos, they really had something there, but they didn't quite capitalise. As we see Williams coming through, as he's come onto the field and taking that run there.
Another one on. Chase Williams did have some experience before, I believe a waiver claim from the previous season. We'll still have rookie eligibility for this one, and we haven't seen any of Aaron White yet. We hope to see him involved soon enough, as they will kick towards more. Ryan come in to open defense and make another tackle. Again, they're just kicking towards that wing, and
as Kowal is positioned in the centres there for that play.
Yeah, but I just wanted to come into acting half. That's let Deuce take that one and then goes out to guys and repositions himself in that same spot. Centering ball now for Monkey. Monkey will be tackled right on South's 40. Made to Kaval, now out for Herban. Short pass to Bell. Bell a stab. Bell is swarmed though. Did get through the line, but the line came to him and tackles him about 23 from South's line. Short pass to Wilson. They elect to run on the last, and be a changeover. Perhaps Bailey wasn't aware of what the play was.
Yeah, it's not quite how you want to finish that. Once again, the Broncos really not capitalising on their field position there, which I guess you can get away with it at 6-0, but when you only got the 2-point lead, you really want to put everything on the board that you can.
Yeah, or if you have the 8-point lead, which of course we did give up that try to Kevin Dixon early on in the second half. They were shutting them out previously, though. They had a Rohan-Kaval penalty goal generated thanks to an offside. And then also had the try for Jordan Williams thanks to the grubber kick of Jack Carl. Now Matt Downey. That's being tackled over 35, and Ryan tries to make a run on the right edge. Again, targeting the opposite side. On out to Hellier. Hellier, the kick. It's high in the air. Not sure where it's going to land. Did O'Hare get it down? No. And Bell was tackled in goal. Did he knock it on? I'm not sure. What was the call there? O'Hare, I think, must have kicked it because Bell scooped it up and is tackled in goal for a dropout.
A knock-on in goal by the Broncos. Oh, no, they've been dragged back. But it's a fascinating call by the ref. But I guess Hellier needed that result after a bit. It was good to see him get his kicking game working there after a pretty promising set.
Yeah, it can be a lot very difficult for some players to be able to see the ball through the post, see where it's going to land. I mean, we had a bit of difficulty with that as well. And yeah, it ended up just spilling free for them. Hellier, free-flowing passes out to O'Hare. O'Hare tackled right on the 20. Players to Fawn. Yep. Davis now to Richards, but Richards is met in a two-man tackle. I think they're expecting a lot of the play to be funneled through him. One will go short side. Butterfield over to Davis. Davis feels like a mismatch there. I think he ran over Deuce. He did. Ended up being brought down by Herbert and guys. Davis now to Collins. Collins to Butterfield. Butterfield, great grabber kick. Liam Ryan sent straight through. The Rabbitohs take the lead.
Who else? Who else but Liam Ryan to step up in a moment like that with his kick chase? As you can see, 17 career tries, very prolific. And it's just another one for the highlight reel. It was almost James Tedesco-like. Just watch this support run here as it gets to the first receiver.
Yeah, beautifully way to kick as well. Right behind Kaval, right in front of Williams.
See, Kaval and Williams just completely caught off by the positioning of the kick there. And just so fast to get to it, Liam.
Yeah, did exceptionally well with that, as Vaughan will have a pretty simple kick in essence, though could still trouble him a little bit. Have to wait and see. No, it looks fine from that angle. Wasn't really sure he was lining up, but way Fawn should slot this and does. And the South Sydney Rabbitohs rather, take a 4-point lead, their first of the game.
And what a way to do it. Both of their tries have just been absolute class, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly say that all of the tries here have been incredibly classy. Can't argue with that. It'll be Caval to resume things here. I mean,
And then you see that R/NRL logo being punted across the field.
Oh, it's beautiful. I love seeing it out here.
It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yep. There's a play it for Fawn here after he takes the first hit up. Hellier breaking his way through. Ends up nearly getting the halfway. Actually does after some post-contact meterage.
There's a few plays to get your confidence back up, getting the set restart and then getting that line break.
Yeah, I mean, they're already really shifting themselves forward here. Ball now out to Richards. Richards nearly through the tackle of Herbin, but did end up getting him down right at the 30.
He's been their hitman, Richards, whenever they need to go forward.
Yeah, let's see if he can continue that. Ryan will play it. Back for Fawn. Over to Hellier. Hellier opted to run. That's a rookie mistake there. Tackle 25 out and gives away the ball.
That was not the play.
Far from it. Also, we're going out to Kelly. Ooh. Kelly a step though. Kelly nearly breaking through and already nearly to midfield.
It's been the play story so far, so it's good to see Kelly get involved.
Yeah, he's done very well for himself as now Allison will take it up. They took a VAR. Now Carl, left side with Bell. Like it's going to get very far on that occasion. Down to Carl.
Oh.
Nearly through, does get through, gets an offload out. Wilson takes it, but is just driven back.
He's grabbing the games by the horn.
Now Herbin. Yeah. It's been very solid work from him as Herbin will play it now for Caval. Caval out for Carl. Carl will end up taking a run. I think he just had a grubber stop before he could get it away. Now that's another handover.
Trying to do too much there. I know that, like, we've seen it earlier in the game. It works for Carl. It works for the Rabbitohs, just getting that kick into your line runner.
Yeah, it just didn't work out of that occasion as there's a knock on. Mason Remy ends up getting a little bit of aftertaste with that one.
30 metres and 6 plays. They've been gifted the field position here.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge advantage for Brisbane to perhaps tie it or even take the lead back. Carl now out to Herbin, spreading it wide for Bell through the spine.
Loving seeing their playmakers combine there.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. Ends up finding Wilson in the centre of the park there. Val, long ball out for Allison. Allison brought down a few shy of the line. Straight. Yep, they look inside for Guys. Guys is just going to be stopped where he stood.
Big tackle.
Yep, needed one of those. Guys now out. Caval, short side. Went for Carl. A great play in essence, but was shut down. And the Rabbitohs hold on to their 4-point lead with that tackle.
It's needed some quicker hands there. As we see Butterfield take the opening hit up.
Very well thus far, Josh Butterfield. I feel like he's kind of been able to lead his team a bit more from that 5'8" role, be a bit more direct in his traffic. Swan will look for a cutout ball to Richards again. Going after Herbin and Guys. Swan now out for Butterfield. There's that pass to Saddlecar. Saddlecar playing a bit more infield. Might have actually been brought on here to play a bit more front row here and take advantage of tiring forward. Same with Tyrone Clay, who was brought down just shy of halfway.
Decent set to get to the halfway line here. Let's see what happens with the kick.
There's going to be a lot of time here for Kelly. And he step one, he can. He steps Williams, but is going to be wrapped up there. Work there by Ryan. Hellier in support as well. Slow to get square, though, and ends up having to retreat. And let's see how they can attack the Broncos, trying to get that lead back. They get a little bit of a break here with Wilson.
Great play. They really needed that.
Yep, and now they look to their own centre that they're going to play in the front row. So a bit of a matching stroke for stroke here. Cooper Gronk in. Carl out for Bell. Spread wide for Kelly. Steps Williams. Brought down by Hellier. Tackled inside the 20. They've had a lot of runs they've taken from this angle. Where do they go this time? Wilson does put a grubber kick in. Bounced off a player. Ruled not played out. Cooper Gronk tackled. Now win the ball back. Less than 15 to play.
It was better than last time, but the execution just wasn't quite there, especially when they looked like they did have the people. They had people around there to start chasing a kick if it went deeper.
Yep, and now it'll be Richards to try and progress again. Trying to take advantage of guys in Herbert and tucker them out even further. Here's Butterfield. They're on to saddle cart.
Hellier sets up that early shift there. And why wouldn't you give it to Dixon?
Yep, he was a guy that created a first try, but they haven't really been able to get their wingers involved in the standard attack. Ryan now another step, gets an offload out. It's bouncing around, and I think it was bounced off saddle cart and ruled knock on.
Wasn't ready for that. It was creative play from Ryan there after he broke the game open for a second, but I don't think his line was he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, which is quite unfortunate there because there was a great opportunity to try and seal this game. Plays, making a step through, going to be brought down 35 out from the Rabbitohs line. Huge opportunity once more to try and even things back up. Here's Carl. Carl trying to break forward, gets inside the 30. Right back to Val. Now O'Donnell.
Not
much of him yet. Yeah, they're trying to slide us through the spine again, but that time Herbin retained it for himself. Caval, short ball, Deuce, inside ball, plays, rocked, and felt that one up in the booth. Plays out to Caval now. Carl will take the run again. Another unfortunate chance goes begging for Brisbane.
Just trying to do too much there. Just put in the grubber when you have the space.
Yeah, I don't know what Kako efforts has filled and just try continuing to run it on the last, considering it has not worked. They'll only try this game off of a grubber kick. Richards is through again. Sure, he must be absolutely gassed right now, but he's still taking his runs. Still chucking up those meters. Here's Davis working against Williams.
He's the coal train in open space.
Now another knock on there, though. Looked like Hellier and perhaps Saddlecart had some miscommunication. Not sure who that is playing at halves. Can't actually tell who that is right now. It's moving too fast for me. Trying to get himself reset back in defense. Wilson goes to Caval, now to Gronk. A miscommunication giving the Broncos a huge 7-tackle set opportunity. Caval now out for Carl and O'Donnell. O'Donnell a step. Can he make his way through? Ryan got to him though. They'll get it inside the 10. This is their danger zone. They could create a grubber kick and move something in. Caval out for Gronk. An offload. Williams looking for the double. Turned up. Will they look? They will. We'll check the bunker.
I'm surprised that they've given this a try first off. I think he did make it over, but I think that who was in the tackle there? Was that Ryan?
I think it might have been Ryan. Might have also been Hayden Davis involved. Yeah, I do think that maybe just because referee had no sight of a ball and just decides, I have no definite way of saying, so I'm just going to say try. If I can't see it and just say I think it was held up.
Or short side.
Or it might have been knocked on. There it is, ruled knock on.
It is. Wow.
Didn't get his boot to it, and Jai Collins scoops it up. Advantage played, 0 tackle for Souths.
It was the clever idea, just not executed well enough. I like his thought there, though.
Yeah, I think it was just too close to the line to really pull that one off, but either way, South Sydney get a reprieve. Saddlecart trying to churn his way forward. All the markers both off there. Ryan ends up cutting through both of them after the ball came out to Hellier. On with a little bit of clever play there to still catch him off guard. Ryan now back out to Fawn. Gives to Richards again. I mean, the train doesn't stop. It's like it's got no brakes on it. Ball now out to Butterfield. Goes to Saddlecart inside. Williams able to bring him down, but 70-meter set there. Could pin Brisbane deep or even result in some more points. Butterfield, the high ball. Who's underneath it? It ends up being Bell. Bell trying to break one free here. Ryan got back in defense to at least slow him down a little. It looked like it was maybe Clay there that got back to make the tackle.
What a return. They really needed that to start off the set.
Yeah, I mean, they needed to also just not concede points in the first place, because if that ended up falling for a try, that would have been absolutely curtains for a potential Brisbane comeback.
Allison breaks another tackle there.
Yeah, and now Carl got out to Wilson. Wilson, a risky offload. Somehow found its way through a sea of bunnies. Ended up picking out Caval. Bell will play it out for Allison. Can't break the 2-man tackle, so just decides to churn the legs and gain the meters. Caval will take this one. Play back for Carl. Carl puts up the bomb. Ryan waiting underneath it. Makes the grab. It's going to be driven back. Rohan Kaval, the heroics, puts him dead in goal for a dropout.
The game is still alive, isn't it? Hangs in the balance.
Now we only await to see whether they can produce something out of that rebeat set. Bell will give it off to Gronk to make the run, and he gets flattened there by Clay. Center on winger. And the winger ended up winning there. Kelly tried to step Williams, but some help defense there from Hellier made sure he couldn't escape. Kelly played for O'Donnell. Now to Carl, inside ball Williams. And Hellier is able to help in that tackle. It's very easy to look at in that Firehawks red and yellow headgear. Threading it again, Carl to Herben. Herben will get some good post-contact meters as well. Inside the Rabbitohs red zone. Carl will take the run. Oh, he threw a risky pass. If it found its man, I think it was O'Donnell would have been free, but Hellier made a great intercept, but some vengeance paid out. Saddle cut spills it. Guys will pick it up. Play to Kaval, now Allison, and suddenly 6 tackles. Rabbitohs needing to make a goal line stand here. I've seen so much of this before where we see a goal line stand, try to make it, but Bell doesn't let it. Bell breaks through with 3 minutes to go, and the Broncos might hit the front. They've at least tied it.
Talk about stepping up. The recent transfer from the Raiders, I believe. There are a bit of question marks over the move to fullback, but what a play.
Yeah, you cannot slander that. That was a beautiful work.
It's as clutch as it gets. He got exactly where he needed to be, just got off that left foot to make the step. Now it's all eyes on Kaval now if he makes the kick. You know, they often say that it's the ones that look easy that you can struggle with.
There goes this one. Oh, that's straight and true.
No struggle.
We see the fist pump. There it is. Celebrate that one. And they will get the ball back as well. So it might only be one last set for South Sydney to potentially come away with this one.
Well, that's got to be heartbreaking. And I think it's going to really test the temper of some of these rookies to see if they're able to keep giving that 110%, even when it feels like the game's gone.
Yeah, I mean, this game had a bunch of rookies already involved in it, not just mentioning the ones that are only making their debut. Gronk will take that first run. Ball out for Carl. Goes out to Wilson. Wilson would make some good meters there, but might get through the arm tackle. Ball goes out to Allison. Allison also get 10-plus meters.
Another fantastic run.
Yeah, it's been great work.
Allison's going to be one of those guys that we look at with how much he's stepped up, breaking the game open with some of these runs.
Yeah, the left edge second rowers have been great, but that's all. It was put on the deck, and they say South's touched it. One of the South players put a hand on it. It's going to be 0 tackle, knock-on advantage. Williams through. Might end up running up the score here just to secure things, but with a minute to go, surely South's chances have evaporated off the back of that play. Logan Guys is probably counting his lucky stars. That wasn't a turnover, but they might try and score again here. Carl of his final 30 seconds ends up being driven back. Probably 1 or 2 more plays. They go to Williams. Inside ball, Wilson. Wilson forced back, though. Wilson's going to be held down for as long as Liam Ryan possibly can. Williams was taken out off the ball. Carl is through. Can Carl get it down? He won't have a chance to do it. The referee calls full time, but the Broncos have won.
Wow, talk about snatching victory from the jaws of defeat there. It looked like it was done, but I think that the experience of the Broncos just really helped them win out here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost in disbelief from that final minute there. I mean, what an incredible finish. And it ends up being the penalty goal from the offside. It ends up being the difference maker in this one. I mean, the Broncos were relatively clean, but just those first few hours started to creep up into their game. I mean, the Rabbitohs having to defend so much can only do so much for you. You can see there the tackle count, the possession, everything there really did swing the way of Brisbane. We get to take a look at the run meters. You see, we mentioned how much Justin Richards had been put under the pump to gain the meters, and he got nearly 200 out of it. So
that with averaging 19.7. The
10 meters and change, I think. I don't know my decimal points. Whatever 7 divided by 19 is.
I mean,
math is hard.
10.7 run 10.7 meters per run. Let's just say it's somewhere around there.
I think it's more like 10.3, but who's counting? Yeah, something like 10.37.
Either way,
we'll get there eventually. 10. Kevin Dixon as well. When he had the ball, he had some great opportunities there. 5 runs for 136 meters, but defense was suspect. 2 tackles for Kevin Dixon, 4 missed. And for Jai Collins, 2 tackles, 7 missed. That is...
not winning statistics. I guess you can say that about it. Justin plays with an absolutely fantastic showing. And Allison, like we spoke about, 6 line breaks from the prop position.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was playing second row, I believe, but yeah, bench prop actually. He moved to second row, but still 15 runs, 178 meters, and good work from his opposite, well, technical opposite, another second row. It's Seamus Wilson, 18 runs for 160. And we also saw Jack Carley. Did have a lot of kicking that he done previously, and also does get 2 try assists, so definitely had some contributions of his own, but he'll be very content with, especially as the captain. Now, I mean, the tackling was also strong from Rohan Kaval. 24 tackles, none missed, but everyone else besides Wilson did miss one, so that's something to work on there. And Aaron White, we never called his name. He didn't have a single touch, only was involved in 2 tackles, and similarly Luke Driscoll, who came on for 20 minutes, only had 1 touch his entire game as well. But one has to think, are South Sydney really not utilising their players?
Yeah, well, it felt like with the Broncos, it was a team effort. The list of names that really helped them contribute, especially in that back end of the game, it just kept going on. Whereas for the Rabbitohs, it felt like you can name a few players that stepped up at some big points. You know, you had Ryan, he was doing quite well. Richards, who we spoke about, who, by the way, for a debut, what a game.
Yeah, that's an exceptional debut performance. I have to give credit there.
Considering no rookie has, I can think of, really had to kind of put a team on their back in the yardage like that, because obviously you see with the Broncos, they had guys coming off the bench with Allison who were just putting it back on every time. But Richards, you can see and the fact he was eating up the tackles too in that second row position. You know, we don't usually see teams go to the right that much. So left second rowers, they don't make that same defensive impact. But for Richards to get himself involved like that, it's very impressive.
Yeah, have to give credit to it, but unfortunately for them, won't end up resulting in points. But it will still be something perhaps for him to go for later. Some good signs for South Sydney. A lot of people might not have backed them to perform this well against Brisbane, but they still end up losing at home, and Brisbane might be turning things around after their wooden spoon year to perhaps make a run for the finals. But still have to wait and see on that one. Liam Rogers, Lachlan Martin, all the SRL staff. I've been Ollie Pache. We shall see you next time.